see when the grass is cut, the snakes will show. I gotta thank the little.
Oh, I've talked about it openly. People think I'm nuts. You know, we had a little bit of a scare. It was looking like Kovalev. I mean, you know, I thought he was going to make weight. So Canelo weighed in at 174.5. And Kovalev weighed in at the 175-pound limit on his second try. What we learned is that in Nevada, when you come back to weigh in for a second time, you only get one more try. We just learned that. So second try, he took the rosary off. He had to get butt naked. We don't know if he had to go take a little shit or not, maybe take a piss, but he came right back on the scale and he made 175. What we learned today from one of the moderators in the chat and from Dan Rayfield from ESPN is that there is a rehydration clause. So they both can't weigh in over 185 pounds tomorrow. Kovalev, I remember distinctly from an old HBO fight where, you know, they showed the tail of the tape and they showed the day of weigh-in. Unfortunately, networks and promoters don't want the day of weigh-ins out there anymore. But Kovalev comes into the ring around no more than 190 or so. So there is a rehydration clause. Crazy, right? But it is what it is. Now, Buddy McGirt, they know full well what Canelo's game plan is. Canelo wants to get to the body. Simple as that. Quote unquote, when in doubt, stick it out. When in doubt, stick it out, meaning the jab. Kovalev needs that jab. It's going to be his lifesaver. But what happens if Canelo gets hit? Let's recap the weigh-in. I'm TstreeT Controversy with FightView360.com. Please subscribe. We're going to watch the weigh-in over, and we're going to talk about the rankings, what these fights mean for both fighters, win or loss. And also, let me get this out here real quick. The purses are, Canelo's making $35 million. So therefore, in 1 year's time, remember he fought Rocky Fielding in December of last year. You know, for Danny Jacobs in May of this year, and then he's fighting November the 2nd tomorrow. You know, against Kovalev. So that's $100 million in 1 year. If he wins, we don't know what he's going to do because he can fight at 175, 168, 160. Kovalev, if he loses, doesn't he have to stay on the zone for 2 more fights? But if he wins. If Kovalev wins, it is possible that the zone and ESPN can go into a bidding war for Canelo. Like, basically, the rematch, like in the case of, it's complex, but you follow what I'm saying? Is that it's a weird type deal where Canelo could possibly end up on ESPN. A lot is riding on this fight. So let's watch it over again. It's about 10 minutes, so the entrances, and I'm sorry, I got Canelo. I mean, you know, I was going to say Canelo. I still think I got Kovalev. You know, it's a tall order. Weight classes are there for a reason. I haven't been fully comfortable and confident that Canelo power had carried up from 154 to 160. 168, Rocky Fielding. No disrespect to Rocky Fielding, but Rocky Fielding was a sacred meal, a sacred sacrificial meal. That was a sacrifice. That was a sacrifice. Please subscribe. That was a sacrifice.
4-3-1, 29 wins by way of knockout. The three-time light heavyweight world champion from Chelyabinsk, Russia, the reigning, defending WBO light heavyweight champion of the world, Sergey Crusher Kovalev.
A sacrifice. Oh, they're trying to get me copyrighted, see? Bastards. Do the poll that I just posted in the chat, and we're going to show the results at the end of the video, which is in about another 20 minutes or so. We're going to watch the Miguel Berchelt versus Jason Sosa weigh in too. So we're going to spend about another 10 or so minutes on this. and then go on to the next weigh-in. Busy day in combat sports overall tomorrow. Yeah, 10-pound rehydration clause, man. 10-pound rehydration clause. I just wanted it to be full 175, no clauses, no nothing.
For this presentation.
Yeah, I mean, it happened. That's different, though. You know, the B-Hop thing. I watched that. I covered it. I brought that on pay-per-view.
First on the scale from Mexico, Saul Canelo Alvarez. The limit for this bout is 175. Canelo, 174 and 1/2, 174 y media. And now his opponent ready to step on the scale, the defending WBO light heavyweight world champion, Sergey "Crusher" Kovalev. Current weight for Kovalev is 176. Don't move. $175.5. We will take off the shorts.
He's going to eventually weigh in, but I'm going to let it play through anyway. Probably had to go take a poo, as we talked about earlier. Canelo bringing out the disabled and everything. True superstar.
$175 and 1/4. Kovalev has 1 hour to lose a quarter pound.
He's going to make the weight.
Sergey Kovalev. And Kovalev tomorrow night from here inside the MGM Grand Garden Arena, Las Vegas, Nevada.
10-pound rehydration clause.
Sergey Kovalev, the reigning champ, the challenger, Canelo Alvarez.
It's crazy seeing Canelo without like his face being all sucked in.
That last 0.2 pounds.
Doing that, but it's not going to take a lot. He can maybe go for like a 10-minute jog. He'll lose more than a quarter pound doing that. They're already dehydrated. When you're at this point, any little movement is gonna take off the added weight.
He can come in, but he's gonna lose a lot of money if he comes in over 185.
All right, Canelo.
They're probably going to copyright this, so that's why I blocked it.
Your weight, Sergey Kovalev just missed weight. Any issues for you if he can't lose that last 0.2 pounds?
¿Algún problema si él no puede perder la última libra que no logró el peso?
No, mira, yo creo que cada quien tiene que ser responsable de lo suyo, ¿no? Por eso es una disciplina, por eso es un peso.
It's usually in the morning, like 6 a.m. or 8 a.m. I think it's 8 a.m.
No, everyone is responsible for their own weight. It's part of the responsibility. It's part of the discipline. So that's part of what we do.
But for you, the fight goes on regardless.
Sí, no, claro, ni modo que deje a mi gente así nomás.
Yes, of course. I can't just leave my people just like that.
So your people are all here to see you, as they've been for most of your fights. Your first fight, though, at 175 pounds, you weigh in 174 and a half. How do you feel physically?
Why didn't it read it? Oh, you didn't donate anything. Oh, you didn't say anything, Chase. My bad.
No, me siento muy bien. La verdad que me siento fuerte. Vamos a ver en la pelea cómo reacciona mi cuerpo, pero me siento bastante bien. Creo en mis capacidades boxísticas y mi fortaleza física.
I feel very well. I feel very strong. We'll see at the fight how my body reacts, but I believe in my physical.
She got a whole ledger. Look at her fucking shit.
You are the man in boxing. You can fight anybody from 160, 168, now 175. Why light heavyweight tomorrow, and why Sergey Kovalev?
Porque es el ranqueo número 1 en su división, por eso nada más, y porque es campeón mundial, quiero ser 4 veces campeón mundial, simplemente por eso.
Because he is ranked number 1 in his division, and I want to be that. I want to have that title, and I want to have my 4th title in this division.
So training camp for this, just eat more? Was there different parts of you for this training camp?
Look at her gloves.
Solamente perder menos peso, no perder menos
She ain't writing shit down. Oh, there she go.
Más pesados que yo y adaptarme, ¿no? a la fortaleza física de un semicompleto.
No, just not lose much weight, and also spar with people that are my size, and just spar with people that have that strength in order to train well.
My bad.
Sergey Kovalev's been around a long time. What kind of fight are you expecting from him?
No, obviamente va a ser una pelea complicada para mí, para los dos creo, más los primeros asaltos en lo que me adapto a su timing, a su distancia, pero va a ser una gran pelea.
Well, obviously it's going to be a complicated fight, a complicated fight for both of us, but after some timing, we will, take it from there.
Missed that September date. Feel good to be getting back into the ring?
Claro que sí, me siento muy contento. Para mí es la parte más bonita, ¿no? Mi parte favorita, estar en el cuadrilátero y aquí estoy.
Where is Jenny Sushi?
Of course, I'm very, very happy. It's my favorite part to be on the ring, and this is my favorite fight.
Good luck, Canelo.
Thank you.
So there you have it. Canelo.
So Kovalev is gonna make weight. In fact, let's get to that part right now. And so far, people not really feeling the undercard. I mean, Ryan Garcia versus Romero Duno. It's like, yeah, okay, it is Ryan Garcia's biggest fight, but it's like, yeah, okay, like what the fuck? Here he is now, about to weigh in again. And once again, what we learned is that in Vegas, you only get to weigh in once, like for a second time. So you can't keep weighing in. You can't weigh in and then go try to make weight, then come back and weigh in, don't make weight, and then go fucking have a 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th attempt.
Now he thinks he's already lost that quarter pound. Let's see as he gets set to step back on the scale. When he stepped on it earlier, I believe he was a full pound over. Then he took his necklace off. He was a half pound over, took his shorts off, and he was a quarter pound over.
I'm telling you right now, it's the underwear and the necklace that should do the quarter pound. He should weigh in 175.
Let's send it down to
He already had the necklace off, though.
It's happened here. He's got one shot to make 175 pounds. That's part of the rules here in Nevada, so we'll see. He made it. 175 pounds for Sergey Kovalev. The light heavyweight championship was always going to be at stake for Canelo Alvarez, is now at stake for Sergey Kovalev. He'll defend his title.
So I know you appreciated that view you had of the weigh-in as Kovalev stripped naked. He did what he had to do to make the weight. He says it'll be a stoppage win for Canelo Alvarez. We'll find out. Kovalev very, very confident in what he's going to be able to do tomorrow night. And I'm confident you're going to join us live.
And I want.
I don't know. I was trying to see what kind of shoes that Canelo had on. But anyway, yeah, it's tomorrow. So looking at the rankings, let's go look at them real quick. Break it down for you. You got Artur Beterbiev. I was at that fight a couple of weeks ago. WBC and IBF Unified Champion. You got Dmitry Bivol, who's out there, who's supposed to be returning soon. And you got Sergey Kovalev, who's taking on #1 ranked Canelo Alvarez. And then the next mandatory will likely be Gilberto Ramirez. By the way, in other 175-pound news, you got Jesse Hart, who's going to be taking on Joe Smith. That's very, very close to being finalized. And in fact, I'm going to release that that Jesse Hart interview later on tonight. You also have Badou Jack, who's going to be taking on Jean Pascal for the WBA interim title. And I forgot what card is that on. What card is that on? That's coming up soon. I forgot that card. Well, anyway, we're going to be covering that. And when you look at the options that are available, say, for example, if Canelo was to win, right? He can fight, and I'm talking about that fights that can be made politically. Like, he can fight Artur Beterbiev, Dmitry Bivol, or even a Gilberto Ramirez. Crazy, right? He can go down to 168 pounds, fights that can be made. Callum Smith, Billy Joe Saunders. He can fight those fights. Fights that 160 that can be made. He's the franchise champion. Ryota Murata. Fucking Golovkin again. The Zone is clamoring for that fight. Demetrius Andre. The options are limited. Sergey Derevyanchenko he can even fight if he want to. If he say, no, I want to do it better than Golovkin did. And truly beat him. Maybe knock him out. Options are limitless. But if Kovalev was to win, then obviously there's going to be a rematch. And then Canelo, would have to fight Kovalev on Kovalev's terms to an extent. Possibly if ESPN put up enough money that Canelo could end up on ESPN. Crazy. Ward, I don't see Ward coming back at no 175. Where did y'all start saying that? Ward never talked about that shit. If anything, Ward been targeting the return at cruiserweight. If anything. He ain't been talking that shit. You see Ward, Ward is huge. Like, Ward ain't no 175. Like, Ward is, walking around like 200, bro. Like, 205. Like, that type deal. I don't see it. And then, look, right? Here's a question that I asked earlier, right? By the way, let me put this poll back in the chat. Let me see. Here. Go vote. Click that link. Go vote. We're going to refresh it. Canelo KO, Kovalev KO, Canelo, blah, blah, blah. So, here's a question I asked, right? Out of all these fighters, Danny Jacobs, Rocky Fielding, Golovkin, Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., Liam Smith, Amir Khan, Miguel Cotto, James Kirkland, Iris Lindy Lower, Alfredo Angulo. How many of these guys would you pick to beat Canelo? Me, at that point in time, I said Miguel Cotto would have to box a lot and move around a lot. I didn't have, going in, I said Canelo going to beat him. When it came to Iris Lindy Lara, I had Canelo going to beat him. Amir Khan didn't have no chance, boxer's chance. Liam Smith, Chavez Jr., he wasn't going to show up. Golovkin, that was a real test, a real test. Rocky Fielding, I wouldn't have picked Kovalev. I wouldn't have picked Rocky Fielding over Kovalev, Daniel Jacobs over Kovalev. No, I didn't go past Floyd. I was talking about this new Canelo, where this passion of the torch type Canelo. Kovalev is dangerous, man.